Hello, welcome to this webinar for ESS BizTools subscribers, overview of advisory intro package. And in particular, what we're going to be looking at today is the advisory intro package treatment for debtors management. I'm Peter Towers, Managing Director and Founder of ESS BizTools. If you have any questions during this presentation, and you please type your question in the chat, but if you're watching this video at a time more convenient for you or for your firm, and you have questions, please send me an email, peter@essbiztools.com.au, and I will get back to you. We're just sharing to the website of ESS BizTools, which is now on your screen. And what we are doing today is advisory intro package. So we're going to get the content. And what we're looking for is debtors management. We have the debtors management. There's a brief summary at the beginning for you to read, which is basically saying this discussion about debtors possibly has arisen out of the one-on-one meeting that you've had with your client using the SME needs analysis, because the SME needs analysis suggests a number of dot points, questions, discussion matters that you could raise with your client. And you may have indicated to your client, did you read the comments that we've made in recent editions of Business Plus newsletter about fiscal management issues and the survey that MYOB had conducted in February 2024, and actually the CEO, Paul Robson, produced an article which was published by the Financial Review, which considered fiscal management issues, in particular debtors management, has been a significant problem for many SMEs. That might have been what's created this interest. The clients asked you to have a look at what services you could offer to help them with their debtors management. This is how the ESS BizTools system works. Every month we prepare 4 to 6 articles which appear in Business Plus. That's downloaded to our website on the second Friday of a month. Our subscribers badge it with their firm name, and then you can send it to your clients. But before doing so, I suggest that you read the articles and take particular note of what they're talking about, of course, and decide which of your clients do you think could be very interested in this. Write their names down and get alongside each article. And then 3 to 4 days after you have sent the communication to your clients, contact them and talk to them and say, did you read that article about debtors management in our newsletter that I sent to you a few days ago? Did that ring any bells? Is this something you'd like to talk to us about? Would you like me to come out and we'll sit down and have a cup of tea or coffee and work our way through the issues, and we could undertake a review of how your business is maintaining your records on debtors management and make some suggestions. This is the way that I've always envisaged that our subscribers would use our material. So you could then look at the overall setup of the debtors management system. So I'll let you read that there later. We're now going to download the content. And the content starts with the procedure control form, which we'll go on to in a moment. There's a series of forms. The BAS is Business Advisory Services. They're the forms, obviously, that you could look at, and they will help you to be able to understand various aspects of the system. We have drafts for proposals, and then we have some papers that cover the debtors management issue and cover a few other things as well. It's all part of the beginning in business. So 570034 is the debtors management paper for guiding you on how to assist clients on understanding the debtors management. If we pull up the procedure control form, we will need to access it via the screens so that you can read this. So this is the procedure control form. What it's doing is setting out a process for you to utilize this package to work your way through. So we're suggesting that you should be reading the debtors management paper. I'm going to bring that into the computer. This is a paper for you as the accountant or the bookkeeper to read before you talk to your client, and then discuss these matters with your client as you're working your way through the system. So I probably preambled the outcome of the one-on-one meeting. I've given you an example of how that might have worked. And we're suggesting that you may have been using the SME needs analysis that's precipitated the calling of this meeting, or the client agreeing to meet with you. What's included in a debtor's evaluation. We do have a customized debtor systems manual, which you could also be offering to your client. We have a separate presentation on that. But it has the complete system, but it can be personalized to suit your individual client's requirements. For argument's sake, I've come across businesses that have color-coded all their systems, and they tend not to use some of the words that we use in invoice summaries. Might be a word. A cash receipt book is another one. They tend to use color codes, green, the green book, or the green file, or the red file, or whatever. You could go through and edit the material for the debtor systems manual to custom code it so that the client can understand. You want to go back and have a look at the issues that Paul Robson was referring to. We had it summarized in the article which we produce each week called Accountant's Minute. And we had an article, Delivering Fiscal Management Skills, a Vital Role. Now, this article is written for accountants and bookkeepers, but it's summarising what Paul Robson, the CEO of MYOB, reported in the Financial Review article. And let's just look at a couple of those problems that related primarily to the debtors area. And this related to a misunderstanding of how the debtor systems operate. There was apparently an assumption by the business operators that anyone that asked them for credit, they had to offer them credit, which is not right, of course. there was an assumption made that every customer would pay them within 30 days. That would be wonderful if it was true, wouldn't it? But it's not what happens. But they had assumed that they would all pay them in 30 days. And there was no appreciation of what the terminology debtors days outstanding meant, and no understanding that this was a crucial business metric that needed to be monitored at least on a monthly basis. And every attempt should be made to bring it back to around 30 days. There was also no mention of the fact that in Australia we have the highest, or one of the highest, debtors days outstanding figures in the world. In fact, 4 years ago, we received a very dubious international award when Australia was given the recognition by a London-based organisation that out of 184 countries, Australia was deemed to have the highest debtors days outstanding in the world. That was nothing to be proud about. In fact, the Australian Small Business Ombudsman in office at that time, Kate Carnell, issued a scathing report indicating that this was a national disgrace, and I agree with it. Following that, the Liberal National Party government made some changes and exercised some pressure on government departments and state governments to make sure that payments to SMEs were made within 30 days. And there was some attempt to bring in legislation to force big companies to make payments. Since then, the Albanese Labor government has made some further amendments to the legislation affecting big business, and they've defined big business as companies with turnovers over $100 million. And it's basically a name and shame program. They seem to have employed quite a number of bureaucrats to administer this. We might debate whether that was necessary, but nevertheless, there's a team now based in Canberra that's supposed to be monitoring this information flow as to whether big businesses are making payments on time. And if they're not, they're going to be named and shamed in an annual presentation to Parliament. I don't know whether that's going to fix it. The problem that arose in the MYOB review was that these businesses had done their calculations for their cash flow on the basis they were going to get paid in 30 days, whereas actually they were probably getting paid on 50 to 60 days. And that caused them cash flow problems. And the cash flow problems really emerged around after 6 months of starting a business, because the payment that had been ignored in all this was the tax office. And the tax office then started putting on pressure, looking for the payments that they should have received. So it wasn't a very happy situation. So that's the link to that article that you could read and make sure that you're familiar with, so that you could have this conversation with your client. Because at the end of the day, what you're trying to achieve is that the client will agree that you will undertake a debtors review and review their system and make changes. And then I would really suggest that you be including in it that you will produce a debtors systems manual for that client. And that's where you personalize the debtors systems manual draft that we have included within ESS BIZTOOLS that you have available, so that you could then ensure that the person in your client's office that's primarily responsible for the day-to-day activities on debtors has got a written system. Because over the years, I've seen heaps of these things stuck on edges of computers or edges of filing cabinets, and that purports to be the debtors system. It's got a couple of notes on it as to how it works, but they need to know a lot more. They need to understand where they really fit into the system. I've also found that in lots of offices, the person looking after the debtors was the most recently employed person. That's probably telling you something as to the level of importance that some people put on it, whereas it's very important. There can be a lot of money owed to your clients under the heading sundry debtors. $100,000, $200,000, $500,000. And the more important thing is, what's the debtor's days outstanding? 50 days, 60 days, 70 days. I come across one 102 days, average. Some of the debtors owed nearly 140 days. So debtors really needs your attention to help your clients manage their business affairs. So going back to the slides now, you can work your way through this and follow the system for effective debtors management. So there is a work program and a budget quotation form that you can use to give you the proposal to your client that you'll need to do. And we've got the work program title, BAS 23001. So please go through the procedure control form and try to follow it in the implementation. It will help you. And that should be able to help you very much. So the advisory intro package contains the debtors management system. As we have indicated, I'm just going to go back onto the system. Full training videos of every training package we present in ESS BizTools are available within the members area. So you can go there and have a look at it and let us know if there's any suggestions that you have or any changes that you would like to see made in the process relating to debtors. So thank you very much for your support of ESS BizTools. If you have any questions or comments on matters raised in this video, please do not hesitate to contact us. Have a great day. Thank you. And I look forward to hearing from you. Once again, thank you for your support of ESS BizTools. Have a great day. Goodbye.